Okay, hi everyone. So I'm back again. I hope you can hear me now. Yes, so I've got messages now that you can hear me. So I don't know, maybe there was some technical problem in the last one. So let's recap again. What I said was that, first of all, I do apologize that I couldn't manage to make the videos because I wasn't very well, but I have received all of your messages, your get well soon wishes and everything, and it means much. I'm humbled and I'm touched. And thank you so much for that. I'm much better and I'm on the recovery phase at the moment. So second thing is this, that the Skinzo, the Skinzo YouTube channel is actually going to be active within the next couple of weeks. The team has done a lot of work onto that. So just bear with me. Once it's out, we will let you know and you can subscribe to that channel. And it's just purely for skin education. So if there is any particular need for any specific topic, let me know and I'm very happy to do that. Third thing is that Skinzo blog site will be available as well within the next couple of weeks. What the team has done is that this is a chance for everyone. We welcome anybody who has an inspirational story or who has something to say, a learning need or whatever. If you want to write anything about your life experience, leaderships, your challenges, write and then send it to us, reach out to our team, and we are actually very happy to take it and we can publish that onto Skinzo blog site. So Skinzo blog site is going to have two different sections. One is purely skin education, skin blogs, where you can read and learn more about skin, and second is inspirational, motivational stories. So write to us and we can do that. Third thing is that once that Skinzo magazine is also coming out. So that's once every month. And we are happy then to choose the best stories. We can just actually put it on the magazine as well. So the idea is just to reach out as maximum as possible. So that's about that. And the last and the most important announcement is that because of the new changes of the policies regarding COVID and all of that, Skinzo is reopening hopefully on Friday, from Friday onwards. So if of course anything happens, anything changes, then we can, we will just reach out. And I do apologize. There was a lot of issue with a sudden last week. The recommendations were different. And we did announce that we are opening, but the situation changed. So all of those who experienced inconvenience, I do apologize for that. Okay, so what are we going to do today? So today is the new series, Healthy Skin. So we talk a lot about healthy skin, and people, they have reached out. They want to know what it is. They want to know how they can achieve it. And I always divide skin into two different areas. Sorry, I'm just having messages at the same time, the questions as well. So I always divide that into two different aspects. First is the skin foundation, and then I say skin denting, painting, whatever you want to do, we can achieve that. Because healthy skin is a big chapter, and it covers a lot about your diet, mental and physical well-being. So it's very difficult to cover that in one session or in one episode. So we will be doing a lot. We will be talking a lot about it, and I'm just again going to divide that into diet. So today we are literally going to talk about the basic foundations of diet related to healthy skin. So when most of the clients, or patients as well, when they come and approach me, we all want to look healthy. We all want to look youthful. We all want to have a very nice skin. But I think it's important to differentiate that injectables, the procedure treatments, work better if the underneath foundation of your skin is good, which means that it's $1 million question that what is the right or the correct skin foundation, and what people should do or should be looking forward, or investing into to approach it. So diet related, there is no one simple answer to that. So I can't say, well, this is the best diet, this is what you should be on, and you shouldn't be on a specific or a different diet. But I think the most important thing whenever we talk about this is just the consistency. So I actually kind of put this in a way that it's The foundation of the skin is you need to know how to invest correctly, timely, and appropriately. That is important. So it's not like a magic. You can't just go for it in a day and then decide I'm going to change my diet, I'm going to change everything tomorrow, or I'm just actually going to have it now and then. It just does not work that way. That's really important. So when people talk about the concept of cheat days, concept of cheat diets, I usually tend to ask them to avoid using this phenomena, because that actually puts a lot of negative impact to your own mental well-being. Because usually the cheat diets, or the these kind of foods which we go for, what they do, they just suddenly releases a lot of sugar in our blood, and it gives us this buzz feeling. So once the mood is down, you have something which is giving you a buzz feeling. It is just going to lift you up, but just temporarily. So it's a very short term. It's not a long-term goal anyway. So sometimes, like, I try to relate that in, with something like smoking. When you have it, you have this buzz feeling, and people, for them to have this feeling again and again, then they just do the same thing. So it's like a repetitive pattern which people adopt, and that's the key to it. So that's the key to anything. Similarly, the injections or the procedures, anti-wrinkle injections, or the fillers and all of this, they are also repetitive procedures. So there's nothing which is permanent. So that's really important to kind of clarify in your own brain before you make a decision. So I usually tend to kind of do it that way, that your skin is, because we know skin is the biggest organ of the body, and it is in layers. So it's layered to another. So when that happens, you need to understand that underneath the layers, it's like if you're making a house, you need to work more on the foundation of the house. So if the foundation is right, whatever then, paintings and whatever stuff you're going to put on the top, it will hold better and longer. Okay, so diet-wise, the most important thing, when you're making a diet, it's really important to know what age group you're hitting as well. So I see a lot of families, we also have a weight loss clinic, and we tend to focus in Skinzo more onto diet and exercise related, rather than on medications if it's not needed unnecessarily. So it's important that if you're making a diet for your family, then are you choosing this specific diet for people with underlying health conditions? Or are you choosing this with somebody who is maybe somebody like me, I don't have any underlying health conditions, then it's different. Or you're picking this for a particular age group, like a teenage group, or children under 10 years, where they need more of those building blocks, because they are growing. So you can't restrict a specific diet in those age group, because they're going to suffer more rather than they're going to have better outcome. So that's really important. So that's the first thing. So no, one diet does not fit everybody. Yes, we hear a lot about, whenever we talk about diet, everybody says you need a balanced diet. And I get to see, we have a weight loss clinic in dermatology as well. That's really important. And people, they get really confused, and they're like, I've read a million times what I need a balanced diet, what it means, I don't know. So I just tend to simplify that, and I have something what I call rule of 4. And this rule of 4 is very simple. When I'm actually going out and looking for what I want to eat healthy, I literally just tend to focus on that. I'm a big fan of a low carb diet purely for myself, but if I'm doing it for, again, a teenager, they need a little bit carbs, they need carbohydrates, not a bad one, but a good carbohydrates. So moving forward in the next sessions, we will be talking about which ones are the good carbohydrates, what are the bad carbohydrates, from where you can have proteins, how you can pick the fruits. We will just going to divide that moving forward in other sessions. So today we're just going to focus on the foundation, which I call it just the 4s, to simplify it. So the first and the most important thing, when you're going to choose or pick a food, just see, is it a whole food? Is it a processed food? That makes a massive difference. So if it's something which is processed, and if you're really struggling, so I'm not saying that you have to get up today and just stop every processed food, But what you can do is you can then maybe skim it down. So if you're eating a processed food 7 times a day, maybe just eat it 7 times a week. Maybe drop it down to 3 times or 4, times, and then slowly reduce it. So just do that pattern slowly. So processed food, yes, they're not good, but you can just adjust it according to. So for example, if you're somebody like I see when I do the teenage clinic, especially with acne and these things, the processed food, they can have a knock-on effect on the production of the oil as well. So like sausages and these things, you can make it at home as well. It does not mean you have to go out and get these ready-made stuff. So the processed food is the first question I ask when I'm picking a food, which one to go for. Okay, now the second one is the refined sugars. So the refined sugar, why this is important is because sugar actually causes, it's an indirectly linked with your health. We have a lot of natural sugar, which is enough for physical, mental well-being and for skin. So we don't need a lot to add a lot of the other stuff. So it actually causes a lot of aging. It is linked with it, and the skin becomes saggy very quick. And so when people specifically, there was in this question as well, talk about the anti-wrinkle diet. So usually this is what people need to focus on, that the low sugar diet is an anti-wrinkle diet. Okay, so to avoid the premature aging, sagging, and all of this thing, you have to go on to that. Now what happens is that the sugar, it generates a process called glycation. Now the sugar molecules, they actually tend to attach with the collagen. Now collagen is the main building block, is the main strength. It's naturally collagen is elastic, it's quite flexible. So that is what gives strength to the skin. So imagine that the sugar molecules have just attached to these to the collagen, and the first impact is the collagen becomes stiff. So once it's stiff, whatever movements we are doing, we are actually kind of all the movement are hyper exaggerated. So as a result, the sagging and the aging and the wrinkles, they become, we are masking it up. Okay. Now the daily requirement of WHO is about 25 grams per day, but it does not mean that when you go out and you're picking a food, when you turn it and you're like, this much amount of sugar is present and we're just counting it, because natural sugar in fruits and veg, you can't actually count it. So that's the reason going and picking a food which maybe has less refined sugar is the best one. That's the second thing. The third thing is you have to avoid the high glycemic index food. So we divide the glycemic index into 3 categories: medium, low, and high. So just to simplify that, these are the foods which usually people call the cheat foods. Because when you eat it, it gives you this buzz feeling, and it naturally releases a lot of, sugar suddenly. It increases your blood sugar levels. And as a result, of course, it can compromise the blood flow in your body. It can generate a stress kind of a link kind of a thing. So cakes and, even rice crackers, they have a high glycemic index as well. So that's the third thing. Pick up a food. And most of the food, they also say the glycemic index, that where exactly it falls into that category. Now the fourth is you have to look for 2 other things. One is the proteins, one is omega-3 and vitamin C. So in this stressful situation, our body tends to use a lot of vitamin C as well. And vitamin C is quite good. So proteins, they are the building blocks of our body. So one of the key elements of the low carb diet is that you increase the intake of proteins. So that's really important. And proteins are really good because it tends to work on the neurotransmitter cells. So as a result, it is going to make you feel full quicker, and that is going to last longer in the body. So one of the downside of the bad carbs is that when you eat it, it kind of metabolizes very faster, break down faster, and then you actually feel hungry quicker. So as a result, you tend to eat more. And then the omega-3, you can have it, from fish. That's really good. It tends to kind of work on the cholesterol. So that's the simple 4 things. If you can focus, and you can pick anything you want to. The only other thing is that when you're kind of making this plan as a family, just allow some extra for the teenagers, because they actually go through especially when they're going through the exam situations and things. So you just have to put some extra carbs block into that category, rather than adding the high glycemic food into that category. So I think I've kind of covered the basics health. So water, yes, water is important. You need to kind of drink. I wouldn't say you have to drink, over drink water. But yes, fizzy drinks you have to avoid. You know all of these things, so I'm not going to go into detail. The only one thing is that related to acne and related to breakouts of spots on the face or rosaceas or any skin condition, when you're stressed out, it changes the natural production of your oil. It becomes more thick. Most of these food, which I have elements which I've actually mentioned, they work on the oil producing glands as well, and they causes a lot of inflammation in the body anyway. So as a result, the oil tends to get stuck, inflammation is already underneath, and the ongoing condition and the diet is actually going to mask it faster. So any skin condition, you can control it actually with the diet. We in our derm clinics, especially in the biggest centers, we actually have a weight loss clinic which runs side by side with every dermatology clinic, and especially the patients with like psoriasis, eczema, they're really, or the other conditions, autoimmune conditions, they're really important, because otherwise the immune system is not going to build up. So thank you so much for all of you joining here. I can see lots of my friends and colleagues as well. And I'm actually gonna finish for today. And the next one, we are going to focus more on the fruits, which fruits you can have, and what we can break down into, what type of fruit contain what, and how you can pick and choose. And then again, the episode after that, we can pick on vegetables, we can pick on proteins, we can pick on anything. I have answered most of the question in the same talk which I've given, which I picked up from the messages which you've sent. If there are any more questions, just feel free and send a message, maybe onto this link, or just send just a DM direct to us. Until next week, stay safe and look after yourself. Have a very good day.